All right. How's everybody doing out there? This is Khalid Nathan Aleem, the real estate boy. And right now, what we're going to do is we are going to jump into the first time home buying presentation. Now, this is 12 steps to your dream home. Okay. So make sure you turned off your cell phone. The woman and kids, tell them to go in the other room and make sure you're totally locked in for the next half an hour or so, because I'm going to take you from being a renter to being a homeowner. Now, the home owning process, it's not a complicated process, but there are a lot of steps, okay? There are a lot of steps. And the reason why you have a real estate agent is so that you don't fall into the pitfalls, okay? And as they say in G.I. Joe, knowing is half the battle. So that's what we're going to go through today. We're going to go through the 12 steps to your dream home, okay? So let's go with the first one, all right? So first, this is my information, okay? Khalid Nathan Aleem, real estate agent. Now, what's going to happen is after this webinar, I want you to contact me, okay? I want you to contact me and set up a one-on-one appointment. Go to www.mekhalid.com, okay? Go there and make sure that you set up a one-on-one appointment with me so that I can give you a custom blueprint on your situation on how we can get you into that home. Okay. So let's move on from here. Let me hide that real fast. All right. So the first thing is picking the right there we go. The first thing is picking the right realtor, okay? Here's the importance of picking the right realtor. Choosing the right realtor is critical to ensure a smooth buying process, all right? A good realtor can guide you through the market, provide expert advice, and negotiation tactics. So a realtor is like a quarterback of your whole situation, okay? They're really, if it's one person that's going to guide you through this situation, it's going to be your realtor. So you really want to make sure that you're picking somebody that has experience. You also want somebody that has knowledge of the local market, because real estate is super local. What we do in Philadelphia is different than what they do in California, which is different than what they do in Tennessee, even though it's all buying real estate. So you want to make sure that you have somebody that has local market experience and has done deals. There are a lot of things that go on in this process that your realtor really should be making you aware of, okay? And don't shy away from asking for referrals and checking online. You want to check online because you want to see what other people have said about that realtor, okay? Now, your realtor assistance, your realtor will assist you in every step of your home buying process, from providing you with market insights to presenting potential listings that match your requirements and budget. So here's the thing, okay? The realtor doesn't have to live at the property that you're going to buy. So it needs to be comfortable for you. I know a lot of buyers ask me, what do you think? And I'm like, hey, I can tell you my opinion, okay? I can really tell you my opinion, but it depends on what you like. Because if you don't like it, it doesn't matter what I like, all right? And then my preference might be different than yours. My level of feeling safe in a particular neighborhood might be different than you. So it all depends. What a realtor is going to make sure is that they're going to make sure that you have a smooth process, okay? That's number one. Oh, it's a little hot in here, okay? They're going to make sure that you have a smooth process. That's number one. They're also going to look out and make sure that you don't overpay. They're going to make sure that there's no situation. They're going to make sure your contracts are okay. Okay, so the realtor is going to handhold you through the process. All right, he's going to handhold you through the process. But as far as the home itself, you have to pick a home that's comfortable for you. Okay. So the next is choosing a lender. Choosing a lender is very important. Okay. Knowing the financial ins and outs of your home buying journey is just as important as choosing the right home. A good lender can help ensure you choose the mortgage that best fits your needs and criteria. All lenders are not the same. I'm going to say it again. All lenders are not the same. What some people do is they think, oh, well, let me just go down. I've been banking with Bank of New Hampshire, okay, for 40 years. So now it's time for me to get a loan. They got to take care of me. Here's what happens with that. What happens is that you go down there, they send you off to some or they give you a phone number to some call center in Oklahoma. If you do that, you're just going to be a number. What you want to do is you want to leverage, okay? You want to leverage the relationships that your realtor has. For example, I have about 7 or 8 different lenders that I have a relationship with. Now, there's different type of lenders. You have banks, you have credit unions, and you have mortgage brokers, okay? Now, there's a difference, all right? What's the difference? Banks usually charge less, okay? Then you have the credit unions, and I'm talking about expense, the expense of the loan. Banks usually charge the less, then credit unions, then mortgage brokers, okay? Here's the thing, is that it's an inverse relationship for the difficulty of process, okay? Mortgage brokers process most of the time is easier than banks and credit unions. Listen, a lender can kill your deal. Okay, a lender can absolutely kill your deal. If you go with the wrong lender, they can absolutely kill your deal. And I'll tell you why a little bit later. So, what are you supposed to be looking for in a lender? Number one, you want to compare the reputation of the lender, the competitive rates, flexible terms, and the range of the mortgage options. Okay, so reach out, compare quotes from the different lenders, and make an informed decision. What I usually tell people is to get about, and we're going to jump into pre approvals here soon, getting a pre approval. Um, I usually tell people that they want to get maybe 4 or 5 different pre-approvals. So the first thing people say is, "Oh, well, what about my credit score? What about getting a hit on my credit score?" Here's the thing: the consensus is that you have about 14 days. Okay, you got about 14 days where you can get your credit pulled for a mortgage 30 or 40 times. It all counts as one pull. Will the inquiries be on your credit? Yes. Your credit, yes, but it's one pull. Okay, it's one pull. Now let's talk about getting pre-approved, because some people think, well, I don't got to get pre-approved. All right, what is a pre-approval? Let me break that down first. Okay, a pre-approval is a lender's written commitment to grant you a loan up to a certain amount before you've chosen a property. All right, it gives you a clear idea of your budget and strengths when negotiating. So a pre-approval, which is different than a pre-qualification. A pre-qualification precedes the pre-approval. A good pre-approval has everything verified. So it has your income verified, it has your employment verified, it has everything verified, so that when I give that to the seller's agent, they know, okay, that lender has kind of did a lot of work beforehand. Now, why is it important? Why is a pre-approval important? Pre-approval give Pre-approvals give you an edge in a competitive market and let you act quickly on properties that you like. It also shows sellers and agents that you are a serious buyer with the means of purchasing. And I actually had this one time. I had a guy early in my career, and he could get pre-approved, okay? There was no doubt, and it was one of my close friends. So we were going out and seeing homes, okay? So we were going out and seeing homes, and it was like, hey, man, you got to get pre-approved. Oh, I can get pre-approved anytime. I can get pre-approved anytime. How can I get with the PH program? Sierra, what you want to do is go to meetkhalid.com. Again, meetkhalid.com and set up an appointment with you. I'll run everything down for you. So with back to my story. So my friend didn't get a pre-approval. So we went to go see homes. And don't you know, we seen the exact home that he was looking for with his wife for about a year. Okay. What happened? It was a Saturday. it was a Saturday. We had to rush home and try to get pre-approved, and we wound up losing that house. We wind up losing that house because we wasn't in any, because we really didn't know what he could get approved for. And then once we found out what he got approved for, now I got a bunch of good relationships with these lenders, with the lenders that I use. So I was able to get a pre-approval within hours on a weekend, which is kind of unheard of for a lot of folks. Okay. But we were able to get it. But the thing about it is we really couldn't negotiate from a position of strength. And the reason is because we were just trying to get the pre-approval. All right. So it kind of put us it kind of put us behind the eight ball, as they say, and made the situation a lot more difficult. So having a pre-approval is definitely important. Now, what are going to be some of the documents that you're going to need for a pre-approval? Okay. If you have a regular 9 to 5, which is okay, you're going to need your W-2. You're going to need tax returns for the past 2 years. You're going to need recent pay stubs. You're going to need bank statements. You're going to need personal identification. And a good lender can assist you with understanding and preparing your docs. So the mortgage lender, he's not going to just send you a list. He is there to help you through this process. That's why it's important. And I always say this, for a lender, you got to get somebody that cares. You have to get somebody that cares, because there's a lot of things, there's a lot of balls in the air. Pause. There's a lot of balls in the air, and if one of those drop, it can kill your deal. So you definitely need somebody that cares. That's why if you do go with somebody that I recommend, they're going to care. Why are they going to care? Because they care about the relationship. They care about the relationship that I have with you, that I have with them. Okay. So next, once you get pre-approved, now we're going to go to what? Going to search for homes. All right. So the first thing, where to look for homes. You can look for homes through online platforms, real estate agent, or by driving around in the neighborhood that you prefer. Okay. We recommend using a variety of sources so that nothing falls through the cracks. All right. So you want to use the Zillow and Trulia, but as a real estate agent, what's going to happen is I'm going to send you homes based on your criteria. So you're going to tell me, hey, Khalid, I want to live in this area. Okay. I want this many rooms, this many bathrooms, this style of home. I definitely want a garage. I got to have a garage. So any home that comes that has that specific criteria is going to get sent straight to your email box. Okay. Trillo, Zillia, Redfin, they all get their information from the MLS. I'm going to send you the property straight from the MLS. Okay. So on online platforms such as Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, they let you narrow your search by criteria such as location, size, and budget. I'll be able to do the same thing. Here's the thing. I got to tell you guys, okay? Do not schedule a showing with an online platform. I'm going to say it again. Do not schedule a showing with an online platform while you have a real estate agent. Here's the reason why. Trulia, Zillow, Redfin, what they are they are marketing platforms. They're marketing homes that us as real estate agents go and list from our hard work. So we go out, meet with a seller, and we list their home. Then Trulia, Zillow, and Redfin, what they do is they market those homes. So what happens is that if you pick, oh, I want to see this home, they're going to sell your information to a real estate agent like me. Okay. So if you have a real estate agent, do not schedule a showing on an online platform. All right. So number 3 is visiting homes and schedule showings. So what's going to happen is any open houses that you see, you don't need your real estate agent to go. Again, open houses that you see, you don't need your real estate agent to go. So you'll go there. They'll ask you if you have a real estate agent, and you'll say yes, and you'll keep it moving. Okay. And they'll show you the rest of the home. And then I'll schedule, or your realtor will schedule different showings with you. And we're going to do this. This is going to happen until you feel comfortable with the home and make an offer. Okay. So next is actually making the offer. So when you make the offer, okay, Your real estate agent, me, can assist you in making an offer. However, you should ensure that your offer letter includes important information such as the price, term, and contingencies. Here's the thing. In Philadelphia, as I always say, real estate is super local. We don't give letters, all right, to make the offers. We're going to give an agreement of sale, all right? It's going to be a full contract. It's a full contract on what your offer is, okay? So what's included in the offer? Your offer should include the purchase price, the earnest money deposit. I'll talk about what that is, contingencies, closing date, and possible dates that work for you. Additionally, it should accompany your pre-approval is going to go with it, okay? Now, negotiating your offer. Negotiating with the seller is common, so be prepared to go back and forth before an agreement is reached. An experienced agent as myself will help you negotiate these negotiations to ensure that your best interests are protected. Here's the thing. When you go under contract, that does not lock you into buying the home. I know a lot of people think that. A lot of people think, okay, when I make this offer, that means if they accept it, I'm locked in. That does not mean it. Okay. What that means is that you and the seller, the buyer and the seller, agree to go to the next step. That's what it means. It does not mean that you are locked in. So I'll help you make the offer. I'll as your agent, I'll draw the information up. Okay. I'll draw the information up to send to you for you to sign. Of course, I'll explain everything. And in that offer is going to be what we're offering, the price, the earnest money deposit. I'll talk about that shortly. The contingencies. What are contingencies? Contingencies are a way for you to get your money back. Okay. So it's a way for you to get your earnest money deposit back. And I'll talk about what those contingencies are once we get to it. It's also going to have the closing date. When are you looking to close on this property, which is usually 30 to 45 days, okay? And going with this offer is a pre-approval. That's why you have to have a pre-approval. You absolutely have to have a pre-approval, because if you send an offer without a pre-approval, the seller's not going to take you serious. Like if somebody sent me an offer without proof of funds or the pre-approval, I wouldn't take them serious, okay? And then that starts the negotiation, all right? That starts the negotiation. Now, once you make an offer, if the seller accepts your offer, then you go under contract. All right. What does going under contract mean? Under contract means that the seller has accepted your offer, but it doesn't mean that the deal is done. It does not mean that the deal is done. The sale will proceed through various contingencies, and both parties will work towards making it happen on the terms agreed upon in the offer. So again, when you go under contract, that does not mean that you're guaranteed to buy the home or you're locked into buying the home. It does not mean that. What that means is that y'all go to the next step, okay? So the next step after going under contract, typically after the seller accepts your offer, the home will be taken off the market. That's why you have to put down an earnest money deposit, because that seller, once you guys agree, he's taking his home off the market, okay? Then the next thing is going to be the scheduled inspection. I'll talk about the inspection on the next slide. Okay, so you should ensure that you are prepared to provide all necessary documentation and ready to act promptly. Okay, so the timeline that you should expect, the timeline from going under contract until closing varies. On average, it takes 30 to 45 days. Okay, on average, it takes 30 to 45 days. It can be sooner, it can be longer. But the timeline varies on a range of factors like your lender. Your lender's process can hold the whole darn process up, okay? Inspections could hold the process up. Contingencies can hold the process up. So there are a million and one things that can hold this process up. When are your realized times? Miss Beautiful, I don't know what that means. Sorry about that. Okay, so next, once you go under contract, so okay, let me peep the scene for you, okay? So you want to buy a home, we find you a home, you get pre-approved, we're going out and seeing homes. You find a home where Where are you? I'm in Philadelphia. I'm licensed in Philadelphia, New Jersey, and Delaware. But if you're not in those cities, still get with me because I can definitely recommend a realtor in your area. So back to the example. So you will put a offer in on a property. No, I'm saying, what time do you go live? I'm live now. I went live at 6 o'clock. I went live at 6 o'clock. Okay. Um, so if you're going to buy a home, I take you through homes. When I take you through those homes, now there's a home that you like, we put an offer on it, they accept the offer. What's the first thing that's going to needed to be done? Okay. The first thing that's going to need to be done is an earnest money deposit. Okay. A lot of times with first time home buyer, this is the first time that they're hearing about what an earnest money deposit is. What is an earnest money deposit? An earnest money deposit, or EMD, is a cash deposit provided by the buyer to the seller after going under contract as the first step in showing that they are committed to the sale. Okay? So that's the first thing that happens. And it's usually within 5 days. It's usually within 5 days of going under contract. Now, the next question is always, how much should the deposit be? All right. There's no fixed amount. Again, I'll say it. There's no fixed amount for the EMD, but it's usually between 1% and 3% of the purchase price. Okay. And it can vary based on what's normal in the area. But I've had people give earnest money deposits all the way up to $10,000 and as little as $500. So there's no fixed amount, but it's usually around 3 or 4% of what the purchase price is. Okay. Now, the next question is, where does the money go? Is this just a bonus? I'm just giving them this $3,000 bonus? No. The AMD is typically held in an escrow account while the purchase contract conditions are being fulfilled. Once the sale goes through, it's credited towards the final sales price, so it's not an extra cost. So, for example, let's just say that you put $5,000 for your earnest money deposit. So once we go under contract, you'll give the seller's agent $5,000 cashier's check. Okay. Once you give them that cashier's check, they're going to put it in their escrow account. Now, what's going to happen is during closing, let's just say your closing was $20,000. If your closing was $20,000, they're going to take that $5,000 and they'll apply it to that closing cost. So instead of $20,000, now you're only going to owe $15,000. Okay. So I hope that's clear. So once we put the earnest money deposit down, and I'm going in the normal timeline, next, what's going to happen is the inspections. All right. This is the important part. This is important because there's some first-time home buyers that think when they go in a house that they have to be the inspector and they have to look under, especially, this is funny, especially the fathers of women. Okay. The fathers of women think that the fathers of women, they think they're the inspector. Okay. So when we're going to see homes, they're looking and they're picking mats up and turning water and turning faucets on. It's pretty funny. So I got to let most of them know, hey, listen, don't like strain yourself too much because we're going to have an inspection. What the inspector does, all right? So inspections vary from standard to immaculate, all right? And they're optional depending on the state. You don't have to get an inspection. Even though I don't recommend not getting an inspection, you don't have to have one, okay? People get inspection and appraisal mixed up all the time, all right? But I definitely recommend you obtaining a comprehensive inspection, ensuring no underlying issues that could lead to a problem down the line. Now, in Philadelphia, we usually get 3 inspections, all right? We get the home inspection, we get the radon inspection, and we also get termite inspection. That's what we usually get. You don't have to get all those inspections. I repeat, you don't have to get all those inspections, but that's what we usually get, okay? And an inspection is a soft cost. I want to say that. I want to put this in lights. Inspection is a soft cost, meaning what? It's not, it comes out of your pocket. It's not part of the closing cost. Those 3 inspections at the time of the filming of this video is usually around $700, $800, okay? Might be a little less, might be a little more. Now, why are inspections so important? Now, with inspections, you'll know exactly what you're getting into before signing on the dotted line. Adequate inspections let you address any issues with the property before finalizing the sale, putting your interest first. So, like I said, with this transaction takes 30 to 45 days. So, an inspection is just part of it. Okay. Uh, 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 this process, this transaction is unlike any transaction that you've ever made in your life. Again, I'll say it again. This transaction is unlike any other transaction that you've ever made in your life. For example, if you go buy some shoes, if you go buy some shoes, you step in the store. Hey, can I help you? No, I'm just looking. You find the shoes that you like. You try the shoes on. How much are these? They tell you the amount. You try them on again just to make sure that these are the shoes that you want. And then you take them to the counter and you pay for them. And that's it. That transaction may have taken what, 5, 10 minutes or 15 minutes if you got some real slow folks. This process is 30 to 45 days. I repeat, this process is 30 to 45 days. Yes, you're not going to know all the information up front. Even after you watch this video, in this video, I'm giving you all the information, but I guarantee you it's going to be stuff that you miss. Why? Because for a lot of times, for a lot of people, all this information is new. Okay? But when you're going through this transaction, again, it doesn't mean you're locked in. Going under contract doesn't mean you're locked in. One of the ways that you can get your money back if you have this inspection contingency in your contract is that when you do the inspection, you usually have a due diligence period. Okay, due diligence period on average is 10 days, but it depends on what's in your contract. Again, it depends on what's in your contract. Average is 10 days. So this inspection period or due diligence period says what? That in this period, just say it was 10 days, you have 10 days to do whatever you want and still get your earnest money deposit back. This is one of the contingencies that's in most agreement of sales, an inspection contingency. So anyway, with the inspection, you'll know exactly, okay, I talked about that. Okay, what to do if you find issues, all right? If the inspection finds issues, you can point them out to the seller and request that they be addressed by the seller, okay? If it's not addressed, there are other things that you can do, like you can request a credit towards repairing them yourself. Okay, you for the inspection, you're going to hire the inspector, so the inspector is going to work for you. So you can follow that inspector around, ask him 50 billion questions, but he works for you. Okay, but again, I just want to reiterate that this is a soft cost. Okay, so next we're going to talk about when you do get past the inspection part. Once you do the inspections, you're going to come up with a list of repairs if there's repairs that need to be done. You're going to come up with a list of repairs, all right? Now that's going to go to the seller. Then the seller has time. Once the seller gets that list of repairs, they're going to do one of three things. Either they're going to fix all of the things, fix some of the things, or fix none of the things, all right? So then you go back. That's the negotiation period. So when that negotiating period is done, then you go into mortgage underwriting. What's mortgage underwriting? Mortgage underwriting is an evaluation process that ensures that the lender's requirements are met before approving the mortgage. Listen, this is what a lot of people get hung up on, all right? This is what a lot of people get hung up on. A lot of people get hung up on, oh, well, why do I gotta give them that form? And why are they asking me for that? Or why are they asking me? Listen, this is what I tell all my buyers, and I'm a straight shooter. Hey, they're lending you $400,000. They're lending you $600,000. When the last time somebody lent you this type of money? Probably never. That's why they have to make sure that you're qualified. And if they're missing something, you just have to produce it again, okay? It's a pain in the butt. It's frustrating sometimes. A lot of times it's frustrating, okay? But I promise you, I promise you, when it's all over, it's going to be worth it. Okay. So, what are the steps involved in this process? To approve your credit worthiness, underwriters verify eligibility criteria like your credit score. Okay. Your credit score gets ran at the beginning of the process. It'll probably get ran again at some point in time. So, do not buy anything. Do not buy do not go to Raymond and Flanagan and buy a whole bedroom set or dining room set. You want to try to stay still as much as possible with your finances during this time. Don't co-sign any loans. Don't co-sign any loans for anybody. Don't pay anything off, because sometimes when you pay stuff off, that can hurt your credit. Okay? Financially stay still during this time. Don't change banks. All right? Don't any sudden movement. Don't put a large sum of money into your bank account, because the lender is looking at this. All right. So in any case, the underwriter is going to verify your eligibility criteria like your credit score, your income and assets, and the purpose of your mortgage and the property that you wish to purchase. Okay. So how long does this take? This is the reason why this process takes so long. This is the reason why the home buying process takes so long. It doesn't take 30 to 45 days. It takes usually like 20, 25 days. Okay. So this is the reason, this is the bulk of the time for the home buying process is the mortgage underwriting, because they have to verify everything that you told them. They have to verify it. Why? Because they're loaning you $400,000, $500,000. Okay. So next, after they do the mortgage underwriting, the last part is the appraisal. Okay. And some people get the inspection and appraisal mixed up. The inspection is for you. Okay. The inspection is for you. The appraisal is for the bank. Now, what is an appraisal? An appraisal is a professional evaluation of the property's market value by a certified appraiser to ensure that the mortgage loan matches the actual value of the home on a range of factors like the neighborhood market conditions, age, location conditions, and features. This is a soft cost too. Okay. An appraisal is a soft cost too. Meaning that what it's out of pocket, meaning that you have to pay for it out of pocket, and it can't be in your loan per se. All right, it can't be just wrapped in your loan. Like a lot, majority of the costs are wrapped in your loan, except for the inspection and except for the appraisal. Okay. Now, some people's question is, why is this necessary? Okay. Why is this appraisal necessary? It protects you from overpaying for the property. A lot of people are scared to overpay. So they're like, well, I don't want to overpay. It's built into this process for you not to overpay. All right. It lets the lender know the real market value of the property. So somebody puts a contract on a property and they go through the inspection, they go through mortgage underwriting, and now the appraisal comes. All right. So the appraiser comes out and he's going to give his educated opinion on how much the market value of that property. All right. Now, the next person's question is, okay, what if the appraiser comes in low? What does that mean? What that means is that, just say your home is $500,000. You agree with the seller that you're going to pay $500,000 for this property. Okay. When the appraisal comes in, when a person does the appraisal, maybe it appraises for 510. That's great. Maybe it appraises for 500,000. That's great. Okay. But if it appraises low, what happens? If the appraisal comes in low, the buyer has a few options, okay, including renegotiating the offer with the seller. This is what happens usually, okay? What happens usually is, let's just say in our example, the house cost 500,000, the appraisal came in at 450. Usually what will happen is they'll lower the price, okay? But that doesn't happen in all situations, all right? But what could happen also is you could come and go in the middle, meaning that what the seller may say is, okay, I'm not going to, if we agree for 500, I'm not going down to 450. I'll meet you like at 470. Okay. So he lowers the price to 470, and then you would have to bring that $20,000 extra in cash. Or he could say, no, I'm selling for $500,000, and you just got to bring that extra $50,000 in cash. Okay, that can happen also. All right. So in our example, let's just say that it came in at $500,000. Okay, $500,000. We're all good. So now we're moving to the next stage. We're almost there. The next stage is the final walkthrough. Okay, what's the purpose of the final walkthrough? The purpose of the final walkthrough is the last chance to inspect the home before closing to ensure that all necessary repairs have been completed. So remember, during the negotiation period, maybe we asked them to fix the roof, fix the heating, or fix something. This final inspection is for us to go over, okay, did they fix the necessary repairs? All right. As were they completed? And the home is in a condition as we agreed upon in the sales contract. And to make note of any deficiencies, we want to make sure that they didn't kick holes in the wall. Okay. We want to make sure that they didn't kick holes in the wall. So, what to check during the process? You want to turn on during the final walkthrough. You want to check again all the agreed upon repairs, any upgrades that were agreed upon was going to be made, anything that was going to be looked to be replaced. Make sure things in the contract it says broom swept clean. Okay, so a professional cleaner doesn't have to come in, but we want to make sure that they didn't kick any holes in the walls. Okay. So what happens after the walkthrough? What usually happens after the walkthrough with me is I usually set this up before going to closing. All right. So we go see the property and then we go right to closing. Okay. That's what usually happens. And once we go to closing, we close. Okay. So after you go through all of that, closing is really a closing, you're really just going through the motions, okay? Because you did everything up to that. Now you still have to sign the papers, okay? But you're really just going through the motions. So for closing, what are you going to need for closing? You're going to need a valid photo ID and a bank check, okay? Something happened right there. I guess I don't know how that got in there, but there's a misspelling there. But that's what you're going to need. You're going to need a photo ID and not a blank check, a bank check. And a bank check is going to be for the remaining funds, whatever the remaining funds are that you owe. You're going to have to bring a cashier's check for that. And you're going to have to sign the deed and also the loan agreement. And then once you do that, congratulations. You are now a homeowner. Okay. Now, I do want y'all to get this one bonus. Okay. I wanted y'all to stay to the end for this bonus. Down payment assistance. Down payment assistance. There's basically three categories of down payment assistance. You have the city, you have the state, and then you have bank and mortgage companies have their own proprietary. Sometimes these can be stacked, okay? In Philadelphia, I'm going to talk about Philadelphia because that's where I'm at. Philadelphia has the Philly First grants up to $10,000, first time home buyers. They also have the K-Fit, which is up to 5% of the purchase price. Okay. Then you have different banks and different mortgage companies that some have $10,000. There's one bank that has up to up to $17,000 insurance on a home. Yes, Brian, you definitely need homeowners insurance on there. So I'm going to put that in there somewhere. So thanks for that, man. But as far as the down payment assistance, there's a lot of money out there, and this bank that just came out who was caught redlining Trident, and they're giving $10,000, and a lot of times that can be stacked on top of the Philly First. So that's it, guys. 38 minutes. If anybody has any questions, I'll hang around for a bit so I can answer any questions. But that's it, man. That's the 12 steps in buying a home. So does anybody have any questions? Very informative. Thank you. And guys, please go to meetkhalid.com. If you want to book a call with me, go to meetkhalid.com. I want to put it here in the here we go. I can put it in the comments here. But this is my contact information. If you have any questions about the home buying process, and if you want to do a blueprint a personal blueprint, okay, a personal blueprint as far as how we can get you from becoming a renter to a buyer, then contact me, y'all. All right, man. It's Khalid Nathan Aleem, the real estate boy. If you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, or invest in real estate, I got you. All right, y'all. Take care.